Paul, a game that, well, it wasn't the result we were after, it simply had everything. Penalties, a goal that maybe was over the line, maybe wasn't, bar post, a bit of everything. How do you summarise that match today?
Probably a brilliant game for the neutral. Somebody that's pulled herself out the door to come and watch a football match has probably really enjoyed it. When you're in the firing line like I am, it's not so enjoyable. It's drags you through the ringer, but this is why we've thrown ourselves in amongst it, and it's kind of what you miss when you're not on the front line. So for that point of view, I'll sit down at some stage this evening and analyse what's passed and maybe enjoy it a wee bit more than I am right at the moment.
3 changes, I believe, to the starting 11. Talk us through that.
Well, one was enforced in terms of Cammy coming in. Leon picked up an injury on Tuesday, so that was enforced on us, that one. The top of my head, you're going to have to help me here. Declan came in for Sam, also injured obviously. You sure?
Maybe it's me that's wrong.
Maybe 2, I think.
But ultimately, I thought that today, the game in the early stages, fairly hard fought, but it's always a tough place to come here, isn't it?
I think they're a team that like to play football and like to pass the ball, and their attacking options are good and they like to get it forward. So we knew it was going to be a bit more of an open game, and probably a game that would suit us better in terms of how we want to play and get the ball into the final third. And I think the first half showed that. It was end to end. They have Keaton should score a header, the penalty miss. Mikey Ruth, keeper, makes a great save. We hit the post. We have good bits of play in the final third. We just need to start finding a way to be more clinical, because when you don't keep clean sheets, it ultimately punishes you. And today it could have been the case if it wasn't for Keena's moment of magic. And I think at that stage we were probably a wee bit deflated, and that gave us a lift and we rallied, which from my point of view is frustrating as well, because at 2-0 it shouldn't make a difference whether it be 2-3. You still need to show the same appetite and the same attitude towards the game.
Are you worried when suddenly you go a goal down, because Montrose make a substitution to bring an extra centre half on to shore things up, and then suddenly within a few minutes they're actually a goal up?
Yeah, I mean it happened pretty quick, so in terms of trying to adjust to that, it wasn't the case. It was just the way the goals scored, which are both frustration. I mean, you can pick the bones out of every goal. They're obviously all goals you look at and say they can be avoidable, but from our point of view it's no the greatest in terms of the goals we're conceding, and it does make it more difficult. But I'm saying to them in there, you've got the balance of both. If you're not taking your chances when they come along, you're always going to be susceptible to losing goals.
You said in recent weeks that has been one frustration you've mentioned a few times, that you've felt that your team are making plenty chances. Unfortunately, we just weren't taking them. So today is perhaps the positive, the fact that both your strikers have scored today.
Yeah, definitely. Delighted that Mike is off the mark. I thought his work today merited that goal at the end. Brilliant for Seb as well. He's been a credit to himself really, because he's probably one that's found his sell out the team, and not through any fault of his own, because of his performance level. So credit to him to come on and do as well as he did and create the opportunity. Likewise Keena coming on, getting a goal. Gary Muller as well. So subs are going to be called upon, and it's not always that easy when Gaz has obviously been left out the team and probably frustrated by that, which is the other change. Ryan Williamson, I forgot about that one. So pleased for them as well, and their attitude to come on and play their part for the squad. And we will need everybody ultimately throughout the season, and it's good to see that when they're getting their opportunity, they're coming on and taking that.
Important as well from a mental point of view. We could tell how disappointed you were the last couple of weeks with the defeats, to actually register something from a tough away game today. Well,
it stops the slide a wee bit. I mean, it's granted it's only a point, but it breaks a habit of defeats, which at 2-0 people are probably thinking, yeah, here's another one to dissect and look at. But the character we showed once Keena scores was really pleasing, and maybe if you had another couple of minutes at the end, you go and get something more out of the game.
That's the thing. Did you think your team actually was suddenly going to turn it around? Because with all due respect to Montrose, the last 10 minutes suddenly they just couldn't get out at all.
Yeah, I think you felt the lift from the goal definitely, and then the change of shape helped us in terms of matching them up and allowing us up the pitch. I thought still forced it a wee bit more than I would have liked, in terms of still like us to gain territory by moving the ball a wee bit. And I thought when we'd done that, we did, and we got wide players on it. But when you force it, it becomes a wee bit more difficult when they've got the their big back three in there, Alan Dillon and the young boy that obviously comes on as well. So it makes it difficult, but we kept at it. We've stopped the slide, and it's up to us now to change it now from that point into three.
You mentioned, of course, you're right, I also slipped my mind. It was Ryan Williamson was the third change. Of course, the fans have waited a little while to see him. Must be frustrating to see him go off with an injury today. Can we assume was it a recurrence of the groin injury or something else?
It's not actually a recurrence, it's the other side, which is slightly frustrating. Because actually at that stage of the game he was becoming a real threat, and kind of causing name issues, Lions pinning him back to the park and allowing us in good areas to create chances. So it'll be frustrating for him, there's no doubt about it, but hopefully it'll settle over the next couple of days and we'll see how he is.
And obviously on the injury front, Aidan Nesbitt as well. I think he wanted to try and come out second half and play on after that knock just a minute before the break.
Yeah, of course, Niz is that type. He wants to try and drive through it, but then as soon as he came out there was a recognition that he couldn't play on, so he had to come off as well, so it was enforced on us, that one.
And I think is it just a turned ankle? It doesn't look like anything too serious.
Too nasty. No, hopefully he'll settle again.
And just finally, Paul, back to the Falkirk Stadium next week, East Fife. Give us your thoughts on that one.
Again, we'll look at it. I've not thought about it too much, but we'll get right on it now and see where we go with that. I think they were lost today to Clyde, so they'll be again keen to get themselves back to winning ways, and they'll come and set up a certain way, I'm sure, but we'll get a look at that now and we'll just work towards it to try and get a home win and see where we go for there.
Paul, as always, thanks for your time.
Brilliant, Lewis. Thanks very much.